Hey, what's up? It's me, Errol, back again with another video. Today we're doing a laminate floor. It's a 12mm laminate floor, and we are fitting it in a small bedroom. So without further ado, let me give you a look at what we're doing today.
Hey, good morning everybody. As you can tell from my introduction that I am working on my own today because the front seat, passenger seat is all full of stuff. But anyway, let's crack on with this job here now. As you can see, this is the room that we're going to be doing today. Up by the window, we're going to run the laminate all the way up onto the windowsill. And we shall start from where the radiator is and the bedroom door. And that is the guillotine that I will be using, and there is the underlay. But anyway, we've chatted enough, let's crack on. With some underlay. We're using this gold back underlay. It has a vapor barrier on it, as you can see me adjusting the vapor barrier there. So we'll get the underlay done and then we'll start putting down some flooring. But before we start putting down the flooring, while he's cracking on with that, let's have a chat about what we're actually going to do on this job. Now, we're going to fit a 12mm laminate floor. So let me give you a look at the product that we're going to be fitting today. As I said, it's a 12mm laminate floor. This little strip in the middle here, this blue strip, is what actually locks the floor together. See if we can demonstrate that. So, you would line it up like that. And there you go, it's locked. And that's as simple as it is. And our starting point today will be by the door and the radiator. And the reason for that is because you need to push the first laminate underneath the door frame. It is easier to push it under the door frame first than work away from the door frame. As you can see here in the hallway, we have carpet. So we're going to have to put a threshold in the doorway, which will be what they call a Z-bar. That sits on the laminate and then it's got teeth to hold the carpet on the other side. Now that we've virtually finished with the underlay headed into the window, we're going to check the floor, the height between the windowsill and the floor. Because we're not putting the windowsill back there, we're just going to run the laminate straight up into the window. So, wish me luck. And we have struck gold. It appears that there is hardly a difference between the floor and the window ledge. So therefore then we are good. All we're going to do is not put any joints near to the window ledge. We should try and run whole planks all the way into the windowsill. Now we've reached that stage where we're going to actually put down some flooring. So we'll take a scrap piece of flooring and use the multi-tool and cut away underneath the door frames, getting ready to push our laminate underneath. Now that we've finished cutting away underneath the door frames, we should grab a plank, measure up, and cut our first plank to go underneath the door. And now that we're all measured up, we should grab our guillotine and cut our first plank to go underneath the door. You know the procedure. You line up the blade with your mark and you pull the handle down. Yeah, the thing is, with the guillotine you can cut more than once, but the real moral of the story is here. Measure twice and cut once. Now that I've got it right on the second attempt, I can now push it all the way up to the door and I can make my marks so that I can cut it away so that I can push it underneath the door. And as you can see here, this is the reason why I'm starting from the door, because as you can see I need to push the laminate up under the door frame. Now that we've established the reason why we're working from the door frame into the room, let's get this marked up and cut it out with the jigsaw. So what I'll do now is take a scrap piece of laminate to mark the depth that I need to go in so that I get it perfectly lined up with the carpet, which makes life a lot easier for me when I am fitting the door threshold. One of the problems you have when you use a pencil is that when you're doing a dark colored floor, you have a problem in seeing your pencil marks. So if anybody's got any ideas, leave it in the comments for me. Right, now that we've got it all marked out, we are ready to cut it out with the jigsaw. But I will spare you the noise of the jigsaw, and we'll just come back when it's all cut out and you'll see that it lines up with the carpet, ready for the door threshold. And then we can continue with the rest of the room, because this bit here is actually the hardest bit of the room. The guillotine is fast becoming one of my favourite tools, mainly because it cuts so clean and there's very little dust, if any. This next plank that we're going to cut is going to have a slight L shape into it as it goes round the wall to go down next to the radiator. As you can see here, I need to cut a bit of the plank out. So what I'll do is I'll take a bit of scrap and mark the distance and then transfer that to the plank. It's just quicker than using a tape measure. And what I'm doing here is taking the tape measure and double checking what I've marked, just to make sure that it's correct, because I only want to cut once. So what I'll do here is I'll take another plank and lock it in front, and this will give me the measurements, the distance from the back, so that I know what size to cut the next plank that goes around the pipes and the radiator. So what I'm doing is I'm checking the size of the space at the back to see if it's even. I doubt it, obviously, because the wall is bent. It's a new build. Have you ever come across a new build that's straight? So now I'm transferring the sizes to the plank to cut it down, but I find that I couldn't see the numbers on the tape measure, so I have to draw for my glasses. Hands up for everybody that's in the same position. It's called getting younger. Now that we've marked it out and we know how much we're going to cut away, I shall cut that. Again, I shall spare you the noise of the jigsaw, and I'll just cut it and show you when we're ready to put it in. And what happened there is when I cut the plank, the blue tab at the end came out. So I was just putting that back in to make sure that we can lock onto it. It will lock onto the next piece. So now we're getting ready to mark around the radiator pipes. And then we'll get that cut out and we'll fit it in. There you go. Now we've got the two hardest parts of the room done, the door and around the pipes for the radiator. So from this point onwards, it's a rinse and repeat until we get to the other side of the room. Right, now we're doing two things here now. One, we're making sure that we don't have any joints too near to the windowsill, and two, we're getting ready to cut the next piece that goes at the back. I'm also cutting the next long one that goes, because you try to do 2 rows at a time. Right, now we're doing two things here now. One, we're making sure that we don't have any joints too near to the windowsill, and two, we're getting ready to cut the next piece that goes at the back. I'm also cutting the next long one that goes, because you try to do 2 rows at a time. And what I've just noticed here is that one of my joints is too near together. So therefore then I'm going to have to change that. And your joints should always be roughly between 10 and 15 centimeters apart. And don't forget that you are supposed to have a random pattern across the floor, which gives the floor the most strength. And as you can see here, I'm making sure that the planks are well seated. And as I slide that one back and forward, you'll notice that it won't lock. Now, one of the things for sliding it back and forward is to make sure that there isn't any debris in the track. Now, we do need to cut a small piece to go at the back. So I'll put the plank in front so that I can get the measurements. Now that I've measured it up, I should take the set square and mark it in. Now that it's all marked up, we'll get to the guillotine and cut off what we don't need. Obviously, we'll still need it because we're going to use it at the other end. So one will go at the top and the other one will go at the bottom by the window. If you all remember earlier on, I told you about the little tab that locks these boards together. On this particular one, when I cut it, I knocked it out. So I had to find another one and put it back in so that the board could lock. Now that we've corrected that error, we should continue fitting the floor. Yes, I am using a screwdriver. I do have several pull bars, but there was not one near to hand. Grab the nearest tool to me. Now that we got that corner done there, it should all be plain sailing from this point onwards. So I'm going to crack on with the floor, and I'll see you when I get onto the other side where I've got to make the small cut to actually finish the room off. There you go, we finally reached the last row. So we're just going to put this last row in, and if you've got this far in the video, thank you for watching. Any other types of videos you'd like to see, leave it in the comments down below. Hey, there you go, and we're just about done with this one. And remember, don't forget to like, share, comment,